Shalom, giving all praise to you. How about you? Shalom to the 144,000. The rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. This is going to be super quick. Breaking news, breaking news. I'm going to title this video Wars, 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 and Rumors of Wars. Prophecies coming to pass right before your eyes. All the last day end time prophecies are in effect right now. We're in the beginning stages of the last few prophecies found in the scriptures. Oh, and by the way, last week we was out there teaching, and I asked Bishop Sakaran to look up what's the #1 best-selling book on the planet, and he looked it up, and he says as of 1995, so we're talking 30 years, almost 30 years, the Bible has been the #1 best-selling book. Consistently, but the least understood book. And that gives you an idea that this is a very special book. You know, people deny the book. Christians claim they read the book but don't read the book, or read the book but don't understand the book. The hardest part of the scriptures, about the scriptures, is the prophecies. Okay, you can read about King David, King Saul. You know, you can read these different things. You can read about the Apostle Paul, the Apostle Peter, our Lord coming on the scene, gathering the disciples together. And then in between all that, there's prophecies. None of you people understand the prophecies. The only ones that understand the prophecies are the former One Westers. They understand all the prophecies. We can say we understand all every last one of the prophecies. I'm saying GMS because there's other One Westers that don't understand all the prophecies. But I give them credit. They understand 95+% of the prophecies. One of the major prophecies that they don't understand is the MOTB, as we always speak on. Anyway, I entitled this video Wars, 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 and Rumors of Wars, Matthew 24. So this was a video. Let me do this. Okay, this came up in my notifications. GMS Watchman upload. UK Defense Minister tells NATO to prepare for global war with Russia, China, and Iran. Time is short. Then you had another one which I subscribed to him, Canadian Prepper uploaded. Alert, NATO Admiral, which is this individual right here, tells truth, stockpile food, and prepare for all-out nuclear war. And he actually plays the clip. And if you understand the scriptures, you would know exactly where NATO is mentioned in the scriptures. The average Christian doesn't know. You say you know about NATO. They probably don't even know about NATO. But if you tell them about NATO, go to Google. NATO stands for the the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Give them the background on it, and then you say, is that mentioned anywhere in the Bible? They'll most likely say no, because they don't understand prophecy. They don't understand prophecy. That's why these Christians be popping out the woodwork, jumping out in front of former One Westers to try to get a loophole in, because they're worried about their status as a Gentile, whether they're going to be slaves in the kingdom or whether they're going to receive blessings from the good Lord above. Anyway, this is what I did. So it says Canadian Prepper, subscribe, you get a lot of information, a lot of good ideas too. Alert, NATO Admiral tells truth, stockpile food and prepare. And this is to NATO nations and the U.S., mainly to the U.S., for all-out nuclear war. And is nuclear war going to take place? You goddamn right it is. How do we know? Because it's in the scriptures. It's not in the Quran. It's not in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It's not in the 42 negative confessions. It's not in the what is it? The Gilgamesh epic. The what is it? The other book? I can't even think of it how you say it. But you got the Gilgamesh epic, where they say that's before the Bible, and really they stole this from this. What's the other book? Forget the other book. But they're saying that that's really written. No, it doesn't mention NATO, the EU, none of that. Doesn't mention the feet of it in Daniel 2. The beast, the four beasts. And I'm going to say this, every last one of you Christians, I don't care if you're scholars, you don't know it. You do not know it. You know some of the prophecies, you don't know all the prophecies. We here know all the prophecies. So this is what I did. So right here. NATO Admiral tells the truth, stockpile food and prepare for all-out nuclear war. But see, the NATO nations, they're going to shoot, the ones that possess missiles, they're going to shoot EU nations and NATO nations, they're going to shoot, that possess missiles are going to shoot missiles on Babylon the Great, which is the U.S. Something's going to happen that's going to make them change their mind about the U.S. They're going to get, what's the word, double-crossed by the U.S. Something, we don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you what it is. All we got to do is watch for the prophecies. We couldn't say, well, Alexander is a fulfillment of, or the fulfillment of Daniel 8, or when it talks about Alexander. We can't say you're going to be out. No. We had to wait for, our forefathers had to wait for Alexander, and we say that's Alexander. Because it was the high priest of that time that Alexander had a dream about. I'm kind of going into a rant. And he showed him in the scriptures, that's you. That's you right there. Just like if I ever ran into Donald J. Trump, if I ever ran and sit down with him, I would tell him, look, you're Nero. You're Nero. That's you, man. That's you. And guess what? He'll believe it. Because of my persuasive powers. He'll believe it. I'll show him pictures of Nero. Say, who does that look like? Go to Google and say what Caesar, who's closely compared to Donald Trump as far as the Caesars are concerned. They're gonna all say Nero, because that's motherfucking Nero coming back. Yes, I said it. Motherfucking Nero. Motherfucking Nero is back, Jack. Anyway, so here it is, the headlines. NATO Admiral, at TikTok 2 days ago, NATO Admiral says, we are preparing for war with Russia. And it's going to be over Iran. NATO prepares for all-out war with Russia. NATO told to fight Putin and win nuclear war against Russia. You're not going to win the war against Russia. Because it's already written. The outcome's already written. NATO, U.S. reacts to Russia's plan to store nuclear weapons. New York Post, 2 days ago, NATO warns of all-out war with Russia in the next 20 years. No, ain't no next 20 years. It'd be better if you said the next 20 months or so. Yahoo News, NATO calls on civilians in West, which is America, to prepare for all-out war. But NATO has their own site, official site. Media briefing with a chair of the NATO Military Committee, Admiral Bob Bauer, which that's the Rothschild's original name, Bauer, so he could be a Rothschild. That's him right there. So like I said, I urge you to watch this video. I only watched 50, not even a minute into of a 30-minute, 19-second video. We in that time, folks. We in that time. Global Affairs Canada. Canada, by the way, is a member of NATO. Countering disinformation with facts. Russia invasion of the fact it was Russia's decision to invade Ukraine. Russia dismissed all of NATO's efforts to discuss respective security concerns to prevent a war. There's going to be a war. Most High pulls the trigger. Most High is the trigger man. Man's goings of the Most High, because how can a man then understand his own way? I shall put hooks in their jaws and pull them back, turn them around. CNN.com, NATO allies worry about a dwindling stockpile as they try to stockpile the missiles. It's talking about. Everybody's got a bomb. We can all die anyway. But before I let that happen, I'm going to dance my life away. Well, he's dead. He's an afterthought. Reuters. NATO reaches back to Cold War past with first major, that's this guy, Major Bauer. NATO will step back to the future at its Vilnius summit in July. The leaders set to approve thousands of pages of secret military plans. All they got to do is give GMS a call, and we'll be happy to tell them what's going to happen. And there's nothing you can do about it. U.S. Department of Defense. This is actually a government federal agency inside the Cold War. A Cold War warrior's reflections. Cold War and a hot war. Hot war is Russia. They're declaring war against the Ukraine is a hot war. The lead up to that hot war was a Cold War where there's no missiles shot. The U.S. is in the middle of a Cold War with Russia, China, Iran. Natural Resource Defense Council, the U.S. Nuclear War Plan, A Time for Change. January 10th, Great Power, Federation of American Scientists, Great Power Compilation, Implication for Defense, Military Defense, of course. Atmospheric nuclear weapons testing, 1951 to 1963. They've been building up missiles from the 50s. For this war, I created the what is it? I created the matter of fact, let me go to it. Isaiah 54. I created the Smith. Behold, I have created the smith, which are the scientists that blow off the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument, which is the missiles, ICBMs, for his work, and I have created the wasted to destroy. Give you one more precept and then I'll close. I don't want to read the whole thing. You really got to read the whole thing, but wow, you got to read the whole thing, which I'm not going to do. Anyway, I'm going to start at the third verse. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? The sword is a missile sent to Babylon the Great, the U.S., and fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Our Lord said, the place where the worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. That he was prophesying about Babylon the Great being destroyed. Plagues are sent unto you. This shall be the plague which the Lord shall bring upon them that fought against Israel, Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away. Zechariah 14 and 12. And what is he that may drive them away? You're not going to have a defense against them. Nahum 3. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the woods, or may any one quench the fire in stubble when it have begun to burn? The U.S. is going to be a 5,000 square mile Tesla. Never get a Tesla. For you Israelites out there, do not buy a Tesla. Do not rent a Tesla. Do not go nowhere near Tesla, because it may blow up. A Tesla is nothing but a lithium battery, a gigantic lithium battery with wheels on it. That's all that car is. It's a gigantic lithium battery. And when batteries catch on fire, it takes hours to put them out. May one turn again the arrow, the missiles, that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, his anger, because it's his missiles, it's his army. And who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Yahweh shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? Said that in 2 Corinthians chapter 13. The earth quaketh, and the foundation thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also. Ezekiel 38, round about the 17th verse. Before Yahweh and before the glory of his power. There's a reason why the Most High gave you this book in code. This is a code book. And the Most High gave us the cheat sheets. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows, his missiles that are shot are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the earth. The ends of the earth is the west. Because the starting point of everything is in the east. So the ends of the earth is the west. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out. It till it consume the foundation of the earth, meaning the foundation of the 5,000 square miles. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward. That's also in Jeremiah 15, Jeremiah 49. Even so the plagues, this is the plague that shall come against all the enemies that fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes. Their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. I just read the article where it says they've been building up these missiles since the 50s. So we're talking about what? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020. We're talking about 70 years of missiles being built. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? So he's seeing it, and it wasn't like a movie. It was like a hologram. He was in the middle of it. He didn't get burnt, but he saw everything around him. It was lifelike. So he was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. This is it. We're in the time of Jacob's trouble, but it's going to escalate. Here it says, behold, famine, plague, tribulation, the great tribulation, anguish, the time of Jacob's trouble, Daniel 12, are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, because we're telling them what's going to happen. People are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to mock. They're going to talk shit. They're going to laugh. Nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be good, cheap in the land. You got inflation, and then you got deflation. Prices go up. People don't want to buy. Prices are forced to go down. That's deflation. That's when you buy. You want to buy when blood is flowing in the streets. Let me see if that comes out. Who said that? One of the Rothschilds said that. You want to buy when blood is flowing in the streets. Oh, Baron Rothschild said that. And that's talking about a deflationary period. You got to watch the movie The Rothschilds from 1934. Watch the whole movie, because it's almost like a documentary, but they're actors playing it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on right now. And they showed you how they came up into power, because the small hats were being oppressed at that time, and how they came into power. The top families on the earth are the small hats, man. It says Baron Rothschild, a British banker and politician from the wealthy international Rothschild family, once said that the best time to buy is when there is blood in the streets. And that's called a deflationary period. Prices go up, 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 up. With inflation, people don't want to go out on trips. They don't want to go. They don't get on planes. You know, planes are falling apart any goddamn way. They don't want to buy new cars. They're just buying. Basically, they're buying food. You paying rent. You buying food, and that's it. People are not going out like they used to go out because of the prices. So that's an inflationary period. But then you have what's called, for people to make their money, they stuck with their merchandise. They're forced to bring prices down. That's when house prices come down. That's where car prices come down. So you want to buy something big, you got to wait. You got to watch the price. The price is going to go down. All right? It says, once said that the best time to buy is when there is blood in the streets. Now, in that movie, the Rothschild movie, they showed you in the movie, at the end of the movie, right? You got to watch the whole movie. You got this general, I forget his name, damn. Somebody help me out. What the Rothschilds did was, damn, I can't think of the general's name. Right on the tip of my tongue. Somebody gonna get it. Y'all brothers is well informed. But it tells you that, it mentions his name in the movie. I can't think of his goddamn name. I hate that. But anyway, what the Rothschilds did was, this was during the time of Napoleon. And they said that Napoleon had defeated the English. So people started dumping their stocks. But it was a lie. The, Napoleon was defeated. And what happened was when they found out after the fact that no, Napoleon was defeated by the British, then the stock started going up. But meanwhile, you had the Rothschilds that had most of the, and their insiders that had most of the stock that was at a low price. So the stock goes back on the market, and people are buying back. And guess who gets all the money? The Rothschilds, the super elite, the insiders. So that's what it meant by blood. You want to buy when there is blood in the streets in a deflationary period. In simple words, when everyone else is selling stock, it's a great time to purchase. Buy low, sell high. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.